This video is going to be a continuation to the previous video on coordinate geometry. We stopped off after doing midpoint formula, distance formula, and slope formula. We are going to look at something different today. Right? Fairly simple. Now we're going to learn about the X and Y-intercepts. What are those? Let's look at this again. Let us refresh this page again. Suppose you have a point right here and you have a point over here. Let's connect them through the segment. What do you notice here? We previously discussed at 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 0, 0, these two axes intersect. Now we see another type of intersection. This line is intercepting at 2 points, one with the x-axis and one with the y-axis. And these points are known as X and Y-intercepts. This is the X-intercept. And this point over here would be our Y-intercept. Simple, right? X-intercept and Y-intercept. Intercept meaning two things are connecting or meeting at that point. At x-axis, this line is meeting at this point, so this will be our x-intercept, and at y-axis, the line is meeting at this point. So it will be our y-intercept. Our y-intercept over here is 1, and the x-intercept here is also 1. Now, with all this information, you're going to learn about a concept called equation of a line. You can graph a specific line on the coordinate plane by knowing an equation. That equation will basically tell you where that line is going to be, or where exactly is going to be, what's its slope going to be, what its intercept going to be. It's going to tell you everything with that one formula. If you put that formula or the data in the graph, you are gonna get the line. There are various ways to put the equation of a line. It's called the equation of a line. Actually, it's called the equation of a line. Simple. Now, equation of a line can be calculated by various ways, because not all the time you have the same type of information. We'll look into that more detail later, but let's see the different forms. This is called, first we're going to look at something called the point slope form. Y minus y1 equals mx minus x1. That is a point slope form. Next, we are going to have our slope intercept form. Right? And that is y equals mx plus c. Next is a double intercept form. Double intercept form. That is like x by a plus y by b equals 1. These are three different methods you see. But because we had these three different methods, don't you think we need a standard way at last the answer would be represented in? The standard method to represent the equation of a line to represent the equation of a line is ax plus by equals c. This is your standard way, and the answers you obtain from all these forms you can convert it into the standard way to represent the equation of a line. You don't have to do it all the time. If the paper or the exam asks you for it, the question, then you have to do it. But it's always a nice practice to put things in standard form if you like to do that. Let us try to understand what equation of a line is in more depth. First, let's start with this question. What do you think will be the equation of line of the y-axis? Let me just take you here. Let's just reload it for a minute. You see the y-axis, the straight one. What do you think is the equation of the line of this axis? What do you think is one data? If you have the data, you will be able to graph a line on any graph paper or something exactly at this point at 0. What information do you need to put this line exactly here? What information do they need to give you? Pause the video and think about it for a minute. Welcome back. The information you would need would be that x equals 0. Remember, I had put 2 points and I told you to calculate the distance, you just need to look at it 2 meters because the y value is not changing, only the x is changing. Similarly, this entire y-axis, it all falls on the x value 0. You can see the x value is 0 at here at this point. It's 0, 0. X value is 0. The line falls only on the x-axis. X is a horizontal. It's plain straight on that one horizontal area, falling to that one horizontal point. The straight line. The y values keep changing though. You see it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. But the x value, through any point of this line, it is 0. So the equation of this line becomes, of this axis becomes 0. Similarly, let us look at the x-axis. It is fairly simple. This time it will just be y equals 0. Cos, let's just say that the y-axis is like height. Or this entire axis is on a specific height, 0 height on the plane. Right? It's flat on the 0 plane. That means its height throughout the plane. Since it's a flat horizontal line, it's 0. It does not change. Height equals 0, y equals 0. Equation of a line. Now that we saw that, let us learn to use this equation of line through a question. Let us look at this. This is a fairly simple question, but it's going to give you a clear understanding of this concept. Let's not worry about the second part for now. Let's look at part A. The part A wants us to calculate the gradient of the train's descent. Now let us Put down the slope formula first. I told you another name for slope is gradient. This is just a slope, so don't freak out when you see this. y2 minus y1 divided by x2 minus x1. There is a formula. So we need 4 points over here, 4 values, 2 sets of coordinates. We have one value here, one value here, whereas as 2 values. You have to apply the x and y-intercept. This is our x value, because throughout the horizontal axis the x value changes. The y value doesn't. It falls on the y-axis at this point. That means its coordinate would be 1820, 0. Right? Its x-intercept is actually 1820. Let's look at its y-intercept. It's 46. So our value will be 46, 0. That will be the point over here, because throughout the y-axis the value of x is 0, and this intersection happens at y value 46. Now we have the 4 values we need, so why don't we start finding them, finding the slope. So let us just say this is x1, so this is x1, this is y1, this is x2, this is y2, y2 minus y1. So 0 minus 46 divided by 1820, 1820 minus 0. That's right? So what do we get? Minus 46 by 1820. And we can simplify that to minus 23 by 910. Just give me a second. So over here, if you actually find the decimal value of this fraction, it would kind of go on, it will be pretty long. So we want to keep this value in this form, in as a fraction, to avoid rounding errors. It's better off, having more precise value. Now that we know that, we need to find the equation of the train line. You're gonna be like, there are 3 forms, which one do I even use? As I told you before, different ones require you to know different information. Let's start looking at each one of them now. The point slope form, y1 and x1 are one set of coordinates, one set. Y and x actually are things you don't replace with anything. Just put x and y. Just put x and y. Under m here is the slope. So what information do we need here? A slope and one set of values that fall on the line. Again, what is this? Our slope. This is actually our y-intercept. And then x and y. When you give the slope-intercept form of what do you say? A line, you put y and x as y and x, but when you're finding, sometimes you would have to use put y and x, put in a one set of values that fall in the line of y and x. We will be looking at that when we are solving a question which requires it later on. So over here, A is x-intercept. Under B over here is the y-intercept. Is y-intercept. Under x, the one set of x value and just one set of y value. We normally don't replace x and y by values. We don't need it. We need to know the x and the y-intercept in this form. So let's see. What do we have here? Can we use a point slope form? One set of values and slope. Yes, we can. Can we use a slope intercept form here? Well, then x plus c. Yes, we can use the slope intercept form. We also have the double intercept form where we need an x-intercept and a y-intercept. So let's start with the double intercept form. So over here you would put x upon your x-intercept. Your x-intercept would be 1820 plus y upon 46. That's your y-intercept. So basically x upon x-intercept plus y upon y-intercept would give you 1. Now, to get to our final answer, we need to add these fractions and move the denominator to the right side. Let's start that by multiplying our two denominators. That's going to give us 83720. To find our numerator, we need to multiply 6 with x with 46 and y with 1820. So 46x plus 1820y equals 1. So 46x plus 1820y equals 83720. This is your final answer. This is the equation of the line. If you notice, it's actually in the standard form. We have a, x, b, y, and c. So double intercept directly gives you the standard form to the most part. So you don't have to worry as it's less steps for you. So double intercept is an easy method to use. This is all for this video. There'll be a third part to the series where we'll look at more examples and learn more things. Thank you so much for watching. Subscribe to our channel, like the video, and comment down your thoughts about the video.